Hello, everyone. Are you excited for the very belated Rekieta retardation? I did a live stream last night where I went over some Rekieta clips. I did some like live reactions to them, but it was like there was so much content to sift through. It felt kind of stilted. It felt kind of like, okay, what am I doing? And I kind of decided that like, okay, we're gonna have to do a pre-recorded like a recording, just going over the rougher bits, right? Or going over like the general what happened, okay? And I kind of realized that like, oh, I can just leave the mad at the internet reaction till later. So like I did a reaction to a bunch of like Alyssa clips on their own on the first hour of that live stream I did last night, and tonight we're going to be doing well, today for this recording, we're going to be doing a reaction to the Mad at the Internet stream, which I think is going to encapsulate all of it. So we're going to have like a good like look see at everything at Null is going through in regards to the situation. So let's see what he says.
I woke up. I can't remember what day it was, but I woke up and I just had a text message from somebody, and it said, "Rekieta has lost his fucking mind."
Oh
Oh
no!
boy! Oh boy!
Where'd you hear that? Like 2022? Like, come on, bro.
So I open up Alyssa clips immediately because the Kiwi Farmstead on Rekieta moves so quickly that if I try to find a clip about what the fuck they're talking about, I'll never be able to find it. So I just go to Alyssa clips, and sure enough, there is a 24-minute condensed version of Rekieta complaining about me.
Yep,
And this
yep.
puts
We
me
saw this.
in an awkward situation because anytime I talk about Rekieta now, I'm gratifying him. Anytime I leave him on red, I'm winning. Anytime I talk about him, I lose. I have to spend currency in the game. However, his rant is so unhinged that it is funny enough to show on stream. So
It really is. Like I was like kind of appalled by some of the stuff I saw, especially that bit with Sean where he's like shouting at this guy for daring to take Null's side, for daring to take to treat Null like a human being. It's insane. Like I was like taken aback by
you'll
it.
be talking about Rekieta. I have a
Yep,
couple clips,
exactly.
and then I
Yep.
have the 24-minute long video. And I think I'm just gonna pull things at random out and sum it up for everybody. So here are a couple stray clips that are funny enough to play by themselves, and then I have the whole thing to like just poke at.
They're calling back to China. Like, Han, listen, you have no idea. Not everyone have small penis.
Yeah, but I heard they were. I didn't know they were like. Are black guys like they have giant thick penises too? Like I don't know. Are they blessed double? I'm not an expert on black penis, Sean. Like much to chagrin of the rumors. I wish I was because it'd be funnier, but I'm not.
I was gonna say you're just an amateur.
I'm an amateur. Look, I don't even put salami on the snack tray. I don't even know how to make them happy.
I listened to this clip before I queued it up, and I didn't hear Sean's comment. That was really slick. That was really subtle.
I love Josh. I'm a super fag, and Josh just needs fag. Like he needs a guy to suck his dick, and I'm here to do it, Josh. I love you.
Oh,
Okay.
Nick, no. What are you talking about?
I don't know how to respond to that. That's pretty fucking gay.
No, right?
It's like his,
Like shit.
He fancies himself like a stand-up comedian now, and like his only joke is just to say extremely overt sexual stuff to try and make people uncomfortable. It's like
He's an edgelord, right? It's not just sex jokes. Like all these weird like racial comments and like his edgy takes on things, like the whole diaper fetishist thing. Like it's insane. Like he seems to think that being edgy is like the funniest thing in the world, and it just isn't.
it's like a gay man, like literally just like a gay man who thinks it's really funny to make straight men uncomfortable by hitting on them. Like that's
Yeah,
like his entire routine.
Oh no.
Enter Sandman, I want to like, but it was so overplayed at every sports event I went to.
Yes,
And I was
it
a
does.
cheerleader.
That ruins it. That does ruin it.
I was a cheerleader, and when you suck dick to Enter Sandman, like you can't enjoy it anymore.
Well,
He doesn't
Nick,
even know what to say. How do you follow that up? I think
There's so many times in this live stream where like Sean just has no idea what to say, like nothing. Like Rekieta is just going balls to the wall insane with his like commentary and getting mad and like making these crazy like these stupid jokes that aren't funny. And like Sean just has to sit there and like pretend that they're hilarious. Or like he's just being polite. Like let's be real here. Like I've been kind of harsh on LawTube for very good reasons, but like there's a reason these guys aren't coming out here and like talking trash about Rekieta on his own stream. Like they'll just be kicked and Rekieta won't talk to them again, right? Uh, there's no reason to be rude about to someone else on their stream, right? Their stream is where they get to conduct their rules and they set the tone and stuff like that. Like I think Rekieta should be given a certain amount of leeway to like what he wants to talk about and what he should be allowed to say. The issue is that he's going way too extreme for it with it, right? Uh, but yeah, like it's
I don't know. It sounds like he sucked a lot of dick.
a ton of
I
dicks.
listened to this entire thing, this 24-minute clip twice, and like I listened to it on the first day, and then in preparation for the stream, I re-listened to it so I had like a really clear idea of what was said, because it's really difficult to follow his speech. He rambles, he forgets what he says, he repeats himself a lot. He's slurring in his words
all the time.
He's
all the time.
uncomfortably angry. He's like yelling. He loses.
Uncomfortably angry is the thing I really want to take away. I really want to emphasize here is just like how mad Nick gets over Sean not like just reaching through the panel and just like giving him the greatest hand job he's ever gotten in his life. Oh, Rekieta, thank you so much for having me on your show. Let me suck your dick. Let me get like everyone in my legal office, like every man to come and suck your dick. Like that is like that's kind of the that's why Nick is mad because Sean isn't like bending over backwards to like appease him. You know what I mean?
His track of his own thought. He tries to like he asks Sean a question. Sean will say literally one word, and then Rekieta will interrupt him and demand him to reply and not actually allow him to speak. It's an incredibly difficult rant to follow.
Well, to be fair, like Sean's like at a loss for words in a lot of this because like Nick is just completely unhinged. Like I would probably be uncomfortable in this situation to be honest with you. Like what do you say to someone this antagonistic? There's nothing you can do to like get this guy to calm down. Nick Rekieta is not a rational human being.
All the way through. And then one
Not
little
the
warm up.
not the thought
Rekieta
stream.
said, I don't think I drank in that
Can't
stream,
even
referring
look
to
at
the
that
stream
shit.
where he was in the kids' playroom dressed as in anime clothes.
He did that in his kids' room? What? I was not aware of that.
Watching anime and going kawaii agu on Twitch. He says, I don't think I drank on that stream, actually. I didn't have anywhere to just had a drink, and it was the middle of my day. Alyssa Clips, of course, being the clip master for Rekieta, has discovered the stream, and he is, in fact, chugging back a bottle of wine.
Yep. Yep.
Buck says he just lies constantly now. Rekieta Law says lies or doesn't remember because it was years ago, and who cares? Okay.
You know, Nick drinks near constantly. Like, would he really think that like he didn't drink during that stream? Like,
this is another thing that he does where he will lie and then just say, "Oh, I didn't remember." He will say with 100% certainty something, dare you to prove him wrong, and then if you prove him wrong, he goes, "Oh, I just didn't remember," and that's your fault.
I was just pretending to be retarded. Like,
for taking it seriously to begin with. That's like one of his favorite cards to pull. I have experienced that firsthand, and he does it a lot.
Yep. I can go sign that.
So here we have. I was wrong. It's 25 minutes, close to 26. He's on the stream with Sean, potentially criminal, and someone super chats. I'll play the first minute because that sets up the stage. Someone super chats him something. Sean makes like a really like tame joke that should obviously be a joke that should be water under the bridge at this point in time. However, it seems to open up like old wounds for him, and he just becomes completely and totally unhinged as a response.
Inshallah says, pull up, Baldo man. Juicy boy just has the tism. I know he has the tism. That's why I keep telling him. I'm like, Josh, stop being a fucking loser. Like, stop doing, you're so weird. Like, there's no reason for us to be fighting you, gay boy. And he's like, oh, no, he's, what?
He's not fighting.
Come on, Sean.
He's got a personal opinion, and that's where he is. Like,
But
that's
his
not
personal
a fight.
opinion is objectively retarded and wrong.
Okay, first of all, base Sean for calling out Rekieta on his own show. That's pretty based. Like, second of all, like we went over this on the live stream, but it needs to be said again since nobody's gonna watch that shit. What exactly is objectively wrong? Objectively wrong about what Null is saying about Rekieta? Like, a lot of the stuff he talks about on Mad at the Internet is 100% true, right? Like, he may not admit it, he may not acknowledge it, or he may deny it, but like the stuff we see on Kiwi Farms is accurate. Like, it is very people have like mountains of evidence at this point to like Rekieta's typical behavior patterns, like his constant lying, his alcoholism, the way he treats his family, like the degenerate sex talk. Like, it's observable things that he's doing. It's not just Null just making stuff up on Kiwi Farms. Like, no, it's like an entire community of people. It's a lolcow community because you, Rekieta, are a lolcow.
He's like,
Okay.
he's saying flat out false things. Like, and when I
Like what, Nick? Name
would
them.
tell him, he's just
Name
like,
them.
no, I'm a good judge of people. And I'm like, but you're literally like, you're objectively incorrect.
The only thing I can counsel you on is
He is extremely. I mentioned this on the live stream as well. He is extremely unspecific about what Null is saying is incorrect, though. Have you noticed that? Like, how he doesn't specify what Null is saying? Like,
probably you need one of those tankless water heaters because your shower
John.
conversations haven't gone on long enough.
oh, the shower.
I
Oh.
wasn't home when I did that, Sean.
Well, I know, but you need a tankless water heater. If you're at like the hotel, it should have been free hot water. You should have just kept going.
I was only in the shower like 15 minutes out of that 2-hour conversation.
Well, but I'm just saying, if
the only reason I got in the shower because he was so fucking retarded that he wouldn't listen to very basic things. He's like, but tell me what you want me to do. I'm like, I don't want you to do anything. Oh, wait.
Can someone link me to the conversations? I'm sure Null has posted them somewhere. I haven't seen them. So if anyone could like link them to me, like I would really appreciate that.
Am I supposed to sit here and simp for Josh while you're on my show? Because like, what am I supposed to do here, Sean? Tell me. Why don't you just
Oops.
tell
Sorry,
me right now?
I didn't mean to make that one. I'll play this because this is funny. This is an example. He does this constantly.
Now, you got a thing. Tell me. Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
I don't, but I don't.
What? Oh, so wait. So I have a 2-hour conversation with Josh. It goes on so long, I tell him a joke. Hey, Josh, this has gone on so long while I'm trying to tell you that you're doing this thing. And I just think that maybe, like, I don't want you to do anything at all. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, literally nothing. He's like, do you want me to delete something? No. Do you want me to censor something?
So I'll interrupt this and I'll explain.
Okay, let's have Null explain his side.
Gambit with me talking about our conversations is that anytime he messages me, he will literally just message me out of the blue when I knew him and say, the people in the thread are saying things that are wrong. And this is at the same time that he is claiming that he has not looked at the Kiwi Farms in over like 2 years now.
Yeah, he's always claimed that like he doesn't read his thread. Like that's not a recent thing. Like he's always said that to a certain extent.
He will say the people on the forum are wrong, and he will explain his side of the story. And I'll be like, okay, this happened a couple times. I was just like, okay, whatever. I don't know what you want me to do about it. And that's my response. I'll just say, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, but I'm not going to correct the record for you. The one time that I did actively
Yeah, so I think by the sound of it, Nick didn't want Null to censor the forum because he understood that would cause backlash and would cause problems for him in the long run. Like, it sounds like he was trying to pressure Null into releasing a statement about how Nick totally isn't a lolcow and how everything he does is perfectly legit and normal. Like that seems like what he wanted to me.
Actively seek his opinion on something was with the Montegraph stuff. I asked him because I didn't know the story. I said, "What did you say that provoked Montegraph to sue you?" And he said, "I said something that was not that is categorically impossible to be defamation under law, which is Montegraph probably always liked sucking little baby dicks." And he said the opposite. He said Montegraph always liked sucking little baby dicks. So he lied to me the one time
Ah,
that I actually asked his opinion. And this
come
was
on,
not
Nick. No.
a small, misremembering. That was a serious. That's like the linchpin of his legal defense and his legal what he's spending tens of thousands of dollars dealing with is this statement, and he misrepresented it to me for who knows what reason. Either that he just lied, or he is genuinely so wet brained that he doesn't remember very important things like that, which are a serious misremembering. So he did this a lot. I never knew what the fuck the point was. He would message me all the time, like every month at least, and be like, "Hey, they said this, and I want you to know that's wrong." I'm like, "I don't know what you want me to do about it." I guess you like I don't care. I don't really follow your. I intentionally try to stay out of it. I don't give a fuck. And then eventually he got to the 2 hour conversation where he messages me, and he tried to correct the record on something that I did care about. He messaged me and he said, "I want you to know that you get stuff wrong. The forum gets stuff wrong." And I just find it funny how the Kiwi forums gets everything wrong. And he used, quote, as an example, Drexel. He said,
Yep,
like
yep.
the Drexel thing, everybody gets wrong. And I
The Drexel thing, everyone gets wrong. Like, really? Like, really? You're really gonna go with that, Nick? You're really gonna try and make that argument that like he didn't groom that girl because we know he did. He bragged about it on stream. Like I'm pretty sure I saw him brag about that live, like when it aired, like
clarified
more than once. So like I knew it happened.
to him that I did not get wrong, because I don't like Drexel, and I made sure that I got this story as close. I was off. He fucked this. If you don't remember, Drexel is like a 50-year-old man at this point.
41,
Big
he's in
black
40s.
dude. He
He's a year younger than Nick.
does some kind of like meninist show or some shit, or tried to become like a Andrew
The MGTOwn podcast. It's a terrible show. Don't watch it.
Tate type figure. And he is into swinging and shit. As like he likes to be like the black guy that's involved in like cuckolding groups and shit. It's really weird. He's gross as fuck. He's one of the grossest people I have the displeasure of knowing. And he knew a woman, and that had a daughter. He was like not like it wasn't like a real relationship, but he knew her, and she had a daughter that was like 13 when they first met. He took this woman and her daughter out to Disney World. Um, so he went on like childhood vacations with this, little girl and her mother, and then eventually, without
Oh, she wasn't little. She was like 13. I mean, I mean, I hate being that guy. I mean, 13's not a little girl though. I mean, I guess it is maybe, but like yeah. He's making it sound like she was like 6 or something. I don't know. Like obviously,
the consent or knowledge of her mother, when she was, he says 21. I've heard different ages. I've heard 18 and 21, but she was of age. But he still hooked up with this very young girl without the knowledge of her mother, behind her back, because once the mother found out, she cut Drexel off from her daughter, and ended that relationship. So whatever age she was, her mother was still an important.
he went like full BoJack Horseman. I guess. Uh, yeah. Uh, I think like I'm trying to remember. Hmm. Yeah, he's told different versions of this story. Like I think the girl gets old. The meme is that the girl gets older every time he tells this story. Like, oh, I didn't bang her until she was in her 20s, but I think he started banging her like fairly young, like 21 or something like that, and then like the mother didn't figure out until quite a while after it started. But
Important enough
anyway,
figure that she was able to persuade her to stop being in a relationship, a sexual relationship, a BDSM, hardcore bondage and masochistic sexual relationship with this man that she had met when she was 13. And I find this disgusting. If it was 18 or 21, it does not change my opinion.
yeah,
Drexel
true.
is
Yeah, I
still
agree. Yep, I agree. I
a
agree.
fucking groomer. He's still
Yep.
disgusting.
Yep.
He deserves to have a bullet put in him by the state
Oof.
after due process.
Oof. 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 Base doll being a little bit too edgy for this show, but
And
I can't say I disagree.
Rekieta coming to me and trying to correct the record on Drexel did not play well because I was willing to stand my ground on this. Because it's like one thing for him to be, like, oh, they're rumor mongering about me going to hedonism. Like, okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do. But him coming at me and saying, actually, Drexel is a good guy, I was defensive about. And when I countered him and I said, I know what you're saying is wrong and I know what I'm saying is right, he then went, I didn't know all that. You seem to know more about this than I do.
Okay, like Drexel talked about this on his show. Okay, like I remember this explicitly while like Nick is just sitting there laughing while like Drexel is like explaining this shit to like Dollhouse Phil or uh Raging Golden Eagle or whoever, right? Like Nick 100% knew about this, right? And he laughed it off. He thought it was hilarious, right? Like Drexel even admitted that if it escalated to a legal issue, he was gonna contact Nick, right? Like that's like Nick is I don't want to say co-conspirator, but like he was well aware what was going on. Don't let him try and convince you that he had no idea, right? It's just that's not true at
And
all.
then when I continued on this, he said, Josh, you're so retarded. I'm just using Drexel as an example of how the Kiwi Farms gets everything wrong. And to this day, he maintains that I don't understand what he's doing. My issue is that if you're going to come to me and say that the forum is getting things wrong and you use an example and your example is fucking wrong, you're a retard. You're not persuading me to feel that you are making a valid point and that the Kiwi Farms gets everything wrong, because the one example that you're willing to use is right. They get it right. That's true. That is disgusting and indefensible. And that's the entire crux of the conversation, is that he tries to convince me that my forum sucks and the people on it get shit wrong. And the only example he's willing to use is that Drexel groomed a 13-year-old.
So is he like throwing Drexel under the bus? Like, why is he not bringing up like his own personal stuff? Like, why is he trying to bring Drexel and the Drex thing into it? Like, it's like he's unwilling to admit that like the farms has anything bad to say about him personally at all. Like, he doesn't want to address it, but like he's perfectly willing to like try to go to bat for Drexel or whatever.
He's willing to use is that Drexel groomed a 13-year-old and entered into a BDSM hardcore masochistic sexually violent relationship with her when she was of age, which is the definition of grooming according to the fucking dictionary.
Yep.
And that is a fact. And then if I try to counter his point by saying, no, actually they got that right, he just says, it's not about if they got that right or not. That's just an example. And he just says, if you don't understand that, then you're retarded. And it's like such a weird roundabout thing. It's like almost impossible to try and describe what he's doing because it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully that does make sense. But actually it's not weird. It's really funny. In this 24-minute diatribe, as he talks about Drexel and the things that I'm hung up over, such as Drexel grooming a 13-year-old into a sexual relationship of hardcore BDSM, masochistic, sexually violent relationship with him without her mother's knowledge after entering a relationship with her, is that he never actually says that. He just says the Drexel stuff, like he alludes to it, but he doesn't re-explain to his audience, yeah, my best friend had sex with a woman who had a 13-year-old girl, and then also entered into a sexually violent relationship with her years later. That was without the mother's knowledge. He doesn't actually explain that to his audience because that's fucking gross. He knows it's fucking gross. He knows that the average person finds that fucking gross. So he's not wet-brained enough to not know that, but he is very, very slyly working around that. And it's very frustrating to listen to because he just refuses to acknowledge it.
Yep.
Let's see. There's something else. I'll just play a clip. There's a nice little timestamp by this guy. Ninja Breadman 8166 has the timestamps. Here we go. Let's play this part.
What? Oh, so wait. So I have a 2-hour conversation
Actually, no,
with Josh.
this part.
It goes on so long. I tell him a
Yeah.
joke. Hey, Joe, I've never in my fucking life asked him to change, delete, or censor a goddamn thing. Even when I said to Josh on multiple occasions, I'm like, what you said or what you reported or what you relayed was flat out factually fucking wrong about me. Flat out wrong. He says, do you want me to like do something about it? I said, no. I just want you to know as a friend that what you said is not true. I don't care that you said it. I don't care that it's wrong. I'm not going to go online and be like, Josh said this lie about me. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you the thing was wrong because you are someone I know. We have a relationship, and I just want you to know that that's not true. And how did that get twisted? Sean, tell me how it got fucking twisted. What is the narrative about why I talked to Josh? Tell me right now, because I know you know. What is it? What do I want Josh to do?
Well,
Tell me.
You're
on here bringing it up. Tell me right now. What do I want Josh to do? Tell me.
The narratives that you want him to go after the detractors.
I want him to censor stuff, right? I want him to remove shit from my thread.
Yes.
Every time Josh has asked me, what do I need to do? Who do I go after? Who do I ban? What do I remove? I said nothing ever. Every time, Sean. Every fucking time. That's what I said.
It's
This
not
motherfucker
true.
goes out there and runs with this narrative that I'm trying to get him to censor shit. Never in my life. Never. And I've said over and over, I would never, ever attempt to censor the farms, no matter how wrong they are.
Yeah, he's totally not mad, guys. He totally doesn't care about what the farm says about him. Oof.
No matter how wrong he is, I've never asked him to change a goddamn thing. Even shit he said. He said, what do you want me to take back? What do you want me to retract? What do you want me to do? And I said, nothing ever. I just want you to know, as my friend, that this isn't true.
I'll end it there because it never stops. He just rants the entire time. And it's hard to find and he repeats himself, and it's hard to cut this off. His way of when he speaks, it's very clear that he wants something, and that's like the other frustrating part is like it. I have a very short list of friends, right? I have a very small list of people that I keep in close contact with, and Rekieta was one of those people that I just had on my very short list of like social contacts. I never, ever, ever had anyone, nobody had ever just randomly sent me messages being like, hey buddy, I heard you said this thing. I saw this on Kiwi Farms, and I just wanted to let you know that's not true. Just between us, that's not true. So
not true. It's impossible.
I have a very hard time understanding like what the fucking point is. My opinion of Rekieta did not change until he started becoming like a severe alcoholic. What people were saying didn't really affect my it just didn't. It didn't affect my opinion of him. The way that he made fun of his own wife and said that her body was ruined, the way that he openly lusted after Mandy, who was like a washed up thought, the constant drunkenness, that all harmed my opinion of him. And that's not something that I heard from the Kiwi Farms. Those were all clips. That's his exact words. There is no element of ambiguity. There's nothing to misinterpret it. He said that his wife's body was destroyed, and he lusted after Mandy unambiguously for 3 minutes straight, saying that he would fuck the shit out of her given the opportunity, the nanosecond that the wife said it was okay. Nothing to misinterpret, and he's clearly drunk all the time.
He would be on that bitch like the Flash, you know? Like he would be the fastest man in the universe if his wife just said it was okay. Like, you can have her, Nick. Like, make me a cuck. Like, okay.
Nothing to misinterpret. So correcting the record with me just it doesn't make any sense. So it always did.
I've heard that clip is brutal, by the way. It's so brutal that Alyssa Clips won't host it on her channel because, like, it makes Kayla look so bad. Like,
I feel like he was implying that I should either stand up for him or something else. There's one other thing.
yeah, I'm gonna stick with the theory that that Null was Nick wanted Null to like openly disavow the direction the Rekieta thread was going in. Like, it didn't need it to be censored or like adjusted or users to be banned. Like, all that would need to happen is that like all Null would have to do is like, well, in Nick's eyes, would have to like sweep it up, right? You know, like Janitor Jim did for the Kino Casino when they had that like the banking thing with the transactions and the payments. Like it would have been like that, where like Null just convinces a significant chunk of his audience that there's nothing to see here. There's nothing weird about Rekieta. He's my friend. He's a perfectly normal person.
Is that he there was a conversation that I had with Hypocrite. We were just there for This Week in Stupid or whatever. It was like his podcast thing. And he mentions at the end that the Kiwi Farms I'll find it. Fuck it. I'll fucking find it. Chat. All right, I'm trying to get this going.
Hard to defend. I mean, it does
It's
for
true.
a lot of people.
That's true.
Why is
That's
this
not
icon
false,
Fuentes?
and I've never been mad at you about it. Like,
That's wrong. He just admitted
referring to Nick, he chose to stream with you right after he spurged out about how mean you are and how bad your site is. What a hypocrite. He is to say that you've burnt bridges with everyone.
okay, can I talk about that real quick?
Sure.
Because like people's idea of spurging is so weird. I made a very specific statement that Kiwi Farms makes itself hard to defend. I mean, it does
It's
for
true.
a lot of people.
That's true.
That's not false, and I've never been mad at you about it. Like, first of all, you don't post on Kiwi Farms. Like, people individually do. But that doesn't mean that the site doesn't make itself hard to defend. You're the guy who has to defend it all the time, and it's fucking difficult.
You made a statement that I took issue with. And
What was that?
you said that the thread was like line crossing harassment and it had broken its original motive of being watch only. And I have no idea what you're referring to.
No. Okay, so there's a rule on the farms, right? If I'm not mistaken, there's a rule of don't touch the cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are people in various threads who intentionally touch the cow, and sometimes they get removed and sometimes they don't. And I think that there's
reference
been
to who though? Like, can you give an example?
well, for me, for some examples, yeah.
What happened to you that would be line crossing? I
mean,
can't think of an instance off the top of my head.
Well, there are users in my thread who have definitely like intentionally tried to interfere with shit and to provoke and provocate stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't ask you to remove anybody. I don't do that. Like, I'm not gonna be like, let me report this.
I don't know what I legitimately don't know what you're referring to. I can't think of an instance.
I can talk to you privately about it. I don't want to call out people. Like,
Okay.
I don't want people removed or anything. But I'm just saying, like, that does happen.
I do.
And again, it's not a perfect system. I'm not like blaming you for it or
I
anything
want
like
whoever
that.
left that first comment about me removed. That hurt my feelings. I thought they were going to attack Cozy, and they just called me a boring and said my show sucks.
Okay, that's the end of the clip because he intervenes and ends that conversation. I don't know. I think it's impossible for me to interpret that as any other way except that there are things on the forum which are so wrong, and there are posters on the forum who are interfering with his ability to conduct his life and the free way that he should be allowed to do, which is against the forum rules. There is literally no logical, reasonable way to interpret that conversation besides being that. And he invites me to contact him in private to discuss this issue, which I'm open to. If there is somebody who is actually like for instance, this is just an arbitrary example. It's not based on anything that I know.
Well, in theory, like Alyssa Clips simply existing and clipping his clips, like that's technically messing with his brand, right? Because like more and more people are like being exposed to how much of a degenerate he is on random streams. the whole diaper fetishist thing. Like a bunch of people are gonna see that, and that's gonna be something people point to like for years as like an example of just how like of deplorable as of a human being he is. Like Alyssa's doing that. Uh, does she have a Kiwi Farms? I think she does. I don't post on Kiwi Farms, but like I guess like I look at the thread, so I guess I'm a lurker. So like I guess I'm using it as a resource. Like I'm making content talking about this. So like yeah, there are definitely people who are like negatively talking about Nick's channel using Kiwi Farms as a resource. Like Kino Casino does this, right? But like I don't think that's like against forum rules. Like I haven't seen anybody like do anything to actively harass Nick in like the way he's describing the way that would be like against site rules. Like it's just a commentary channel, right? It's just a clip channel, right? Like there's no like real group of people that are coming after you, bro. At least not yet. Like unless you count Monograph, but that has nothing to do with Kiwi Farms.
About if someone's like contacting like his micro school organization or like the coach of some soccer team that his kids are go to,
I think we would have heard about that if it was true. If
something like that, that's like interfering in like his family's day-to-day business. If that's like a user on the forum, and
like one of the things Kiwi Farms has been talking about a lot is the possibility that people he knows personally, like his parents, his community, like are becoming aware of his YouTube channel and his reputation, and by extension, they're becoming aware of the Kiwi Farms thread and like the backlash, and like it's slowly seeping out into his personal life, right? Like I think that's very likely at this stage, considering like what he's been talking about.
he knows who it is, like I have no issue intervening and telling that person to fuck off. And I have had success in contacting people who are doing things like that and telling them that that's not a good thing to do. It's a bad idea. It's not fair. It's potentially criminal. I've managed to persuade people, using my words alone into complying with the rules. That's something that I can do. And I don't think that's censorious at all. So it's not like I would feel like he's forcing my hand if that's actually happening. When I message him, he says he doesn't want to name any names. So as far as I know, Rekieta has simultaneously held two positions that are in contradiction with each other. He says that the forum gets everything wrong and that it interferes with his personal life in a way that's against the forum rules. And then on the other hand, he will not say what things the forum gets wrong, and he will not tell me who is crossing the line. But
Yeah. Like just say, like, what is the forum getting wrong, Nick? Like explain it. Like, what exactly are they getting wrong?
he is more than happy to bring this up and complain about it on his show, on other people's shows, in conversations with third parties, and to me directly in DM. And I don't know how else I could possibly interpret that except that he thinks that I should do something about it. And I mean, whenever I say that, he then immediately, here's his trick. Here's the system's neatest trick, as it were.
Oh no.
He spins that around on me. That's what you just heard. He'll
The
say,
nose job.
Josh was begging me. He was down on his knees saying, please, master, please give me some names. Please give me some posts to delete. I mean to censor Rekieta. I just don't feel powerful unless I'm cracking my whip. And it's like, that's not, that's like a fucking psychotic way of trying to spin that on me. Because obviously that's bullshit. It's just insane. It's like it is so insane that it like makes my head spin, and I am forced to assume that's the point. Like, just to be, his plan is to be as obtuse as possible and try to be as like confusing and bizarre and gay all the time, so that I have no choice but to try and find some way to make him happy so he stops being gay. And that's why he gets really, really pissed when I just ignore him. Now, he also said that he was just joking about taking a shower, or that it was just like for a brief time in the conversation. That was just a silly joke, and that I took it the wrong way. When he randomly told me that he was naked in the shower, sending me text messages, like as guys do, I just took it the wrong way. And then this.
Because if someone calls out one of his friends, he is compelled, which I told him, by the way, that he's easily manipulable because of this. Well, if someone's friends with me, I have to. This is his words. I have to report the negative thing about them. I have to, and I'm like, but Josh, if it's not true, like, and again, I'm not telling you to retract anything, but like, it's not true. I'll just tell you that it's not true because you're my friend. I want you to know. And he's like, but I have to say it. I'm like, yeah, say it.
But-
You say it all the time. I'm not telling you not to. I never have.
And I get that. I was just trying to make a joke, but since we're here, I guess I'll just say, if you don't want him to retract, but you're telling him it's wrong.
I didn't even tell him anything about me was wrong, Sean.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, if you want them, like you're saying, like
He did, by the way. He never gives specifics when talking about himself, but he was very upset about the Drexel thing, and that's what it means. Like he talks about the Drexel thing without re-explaining what happened with it.
this isn't right, and you're like, well, and if you're saying Null said, hey, well, what should I do about it? Don't worry about it. That
I wasn't worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. No. Who brought it up? Who brought it up? Who brought up that conversation? Sean?
I did. I was trying to make it so.
Not between you and me.
Well-
Me and Null. Me and Null. The shower conversation. Who brought it up? Did I bring it up? Did I say, hey guys, I was in Corpus Christi, bored while my entire family's asleep? Because
It was me. I am the one who brought up the shower conversation. In fact, you could tell in that clip of me talking about this that I was apprehensive to start talking about the shower thing because I knew it was very funny and people would make memes out of it, which they did. So I was, but at that point, I'm just like, yeah, he's just like a fucking insane drunk at this point. He's like a belligerent liability to me and everyone around him. I guess
I co-sign all of that. Like I think I said similar things on my live stream.
I'll just talk about the shower thing. Fuck it. And it's never been a regretted decision because he's clearly an insane alcoholic and has never stopped. As far as like, yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's like if you know me and there's drama, I'm pretty compelled to talk about it because if I don't, it's very conspicuous, which is unfortunate. However, I will say this: if there's drama and I know it's bullshit, AstroTurf gay nonsense, I will ignore it. I've done that before. I don't want to name specific instances, but if I look at something and it just looks like fake bullshit, I will completely fucking ignore it. And people will try and convince me, and they'll send me emails, and they'll send me tweets, and they'll post on the forum and complain on the forum. But if it's bullshit, and I know it's bullshit because it's just obviously like a gay op, I will ignore it. And I'll
Yeah. So like that's the thing Rekieta doesn't understand. Like Kiwi Forums fundamentally has no appeal if the users are talking about things that aren't true. Right? People can speculate, people can throw out wild theories out there, but they have no reason to incessantly fixate on an aspect of a personality that isn't actually true. Right? That they're there to talk about like the real things that these real people are doing. Right? So like I would argue if like someone or even a group of people tried to put forward like a narrative about someone, like it would fall apart because like if there's no actual interest in the community, if there's no actual like truth to anything they're saying, like there's no draw to it, there's no appeal. If people were making fun of Nick, if they were making stuff up, like nobody would care. Like it just would like just get ignored.
just deal with the nonsense. But I mean, the hedonism thing
Not just by Null, but by the entire community.
was like there are pictures of him in the hotel room that can be found on the Hedonism 2 website, and he was there during that week. And I think that the only point of contention is that the cuckolding stuff was like next week, and it was just like the week he was
It was just
there,
a coincidence,
like,
Goy.
walk around naked exhibitions and stuff like that was that. Which, by the way, that he did tell me that. I'm pretty sure. So that is something that he said that was correcting the record that was about him. So that's also a fucking lie. I don't remember that. And then he randomly says this.
I was just trying to make a joke, but since we're here, I guess I'll just.
you just said if you tell Josh that he says, what do you want me to change? You say, nothing, don't worry about it. Who didn't worry about it? Who didn't worry about it, Sean?
If
Who
you
didn't worry about it? Answer the fucking question.
I don't know, Nick, because I don't know all your conversations you've
Wait,
had.
wait. You don't know who didn't worry about it? Who'd you hear about it from? Who talked about the shower texting? Who talked, which by the way was just a joke. It was literally a tension breaking joke because I'm like, why is Josh
It's just a joke. Stop taking it so seriously.
mad?
You can't make fun of me for a joke. It's my all-powerful get-out-of-jail-free card.
A tension breaking joke. It was funny to me. Who told you about that conversation? Was it me? Did I say, hey, I was texting Null for 2 hours last night? Or did Null say, Nick texted me from the shower because he's so fucking crazy and he's so unhinged and he wants me to censor his thread? Who said that? Was it me or Josh?
It was Josh.
Oh, was it Josh? So when you said just now, when you said, well, don't worry about it, who didn't worry about it? Me. Who's blindsided when someone went to the fucking internet to go complain about it? Me. I was fucking blindsided. Because I've talked to Josh 100 times in text.
Yes.
And every time I just tell him, I'm like, hey.
Yes, he has. Oh my God, he admits it. Yeah, he does this constantly. He sends me fucking random messages, and usually it's like, cool. It's like, whatever, okay, whatever. It was the shower. It was the Drexel thing. The Drexel thing was like the bridge break, where it's just like, this is fucking gross. This is fucking gross. This is fucking stupid. I'm not going to be belittled and berated and talked down to because your fucking black pedophile grooming friend, or I can't say pedophile because he didn't fuck her when she was 13, but he had eyes on that from when she was 13, and that's fucking skeevy. And it's like gross to normal people. Almost every normal, actually no, every normal fucking person will say that's fucking gross, unless you're like so porn sick that like, the mom and daughter fantasy like overrides any sort of human decency. But that was what did it. That was what did it. And he still lies about that. And he still says, well, she was 21 when they had sex. Yeah, but that's not what I fucking said. I said, and it's true, that he knew her mother and he knew her when she was like 13 years old, and he waited 8 years to have a masochistic BDSM sexually violent relationship with somebody that he knew, and took to fucking Disneyland as a little kid. And that's why I don't like him. And Rekieta can't get over that, and is upset that I keep talking about it because I guess it makes him look bad. But yeah, it was that conversation where I'm just like, this isn't worth maintaining. I don't have to put up with this. This is bullshit. Yeah, that was worth it, motherfucker.
You're my friend. I just want you to know this thing isn't true. By the way, my wife and I are monogamous and have been for our entire marriage. We were virgins when we met, and we are only people.
I guarantee you she wasn't with the way she acts. Like, there's no way. There is no way.
We've ever had sex with. I know that there's these like weird rumors about us. I just want you to know as my friend, because there's this weird shit going on talking about
That'll be interesting if someone's able to like prove that.
how my wife's a whore that you're like reporting on, and then I'm some cuck who likes to watch her get fucked by men, that actually we're monogamous and we've only ever had sex with each other. I just want you to know. I don't want you to change anything. I don't care. But you're my friend. I want you to know. Since you talked about it, you're my friend on this.
I talked about the hedonism thing, and that's what he's reacting to. And as I mentioned before, his claim is that it was a month-long event. He was there for 1 week that was themed differently. The next week was interracial cuckolding, but that week was just exhibitionism or something. And yeah, he brings that up out of nowhere.
He's so sensitive about that. He's so sensitive about the Jamaica thing. Like, Stuttering Craig brought up like Jamaica offhand on stream because Craig is a snake and he was like trying to strike, right? and yeah, Nick just like visibly cringes when he hears the word Jamaica. That's how bad like it is whenever someone brings this up.
Which just sounds weird. That's all I have to say about that. I will say this. I think you can look back in all the clips that I've ever talked about Rekieta, from the very beginning to now. I
legit think it might be Stuttering Craig who exposes Rekieta to like the wider YouTube conservative audiences. Like I feel like I'm gonna call that now. I think it is gonna be him.
I am 90% certain. Could be wrong, but I'm 90% certain. I have never said Maybe as a joke, I've said that she gets fucked by black men, but I don't think I've ever made the actual claim that he went to hedonism and she got fucked by a black guy, or that she fucked Drexel.
My claim has always been that like Drexel is waiting for the daughters to turn 18.
I don't think I've ever made that
I'm
claim.
not trying to be edgy. That's my legit thought. Like I don't believe Kayla has slept with Drexel.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember. And I remember there are people in the thread saying that they don't remember me ever saying that. So that's why that seems so out of place. I tend to be pretty soft on the people around. So I usually just talk about Rekieta, especially his alcoholism. I implied it. I don't think so. I really don't remember. Was there anything else here? This is funny. I'll play this and then I'll wrap it up.
They don't. Kiwi Farms has power in so much as they can convince someone to destroy themselves. But Kiwi Farms can't do anything to anyone.
Okay, Kiwi Farms doesn't convince anyone to do anything. Like a true lolcow is someone who does something without like the influence of the farms, right? Like that's a real observable thing. I don't think this is a good observation. Now he's not wrong when he says Kiwi Farms doesn't have any real power, but you know, it's just.
And the reason they can't is because if Kiwi Farms tried to go after someone, which they don't do, I want to be very clear, they don't go after someone. But if someone's boss was like, "Oh, I saw this thing on the Kiwi Farms," all you have to do is pull up their thread, and you'll find some guy named Butt Sex Master 2000. And he will have a post that just says nigger, 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 nigger. Like that's what he'll have. You just show that to your boss. You go.
I managed to avoid calling Drexel the N-word, and this motherfucker, by virtue of playing this clip, Alyssa Clips usually clips that out, but she missed this one, and now it's on my stream. The poisonous red chat.
No, not that word.
Sane?
Not that word.
Like, is this the place that you're getting your information?
I
and
disavow.
Oh, no, the real world doesn't care about this. That's fine. But what the real world doesn't care about doesn't matter if the person goes, I will read.
I apologize for us.
I should change Sean's account to Butt Sex Master 9000. Just rename it.
Jumping back into it.
No, but I'm just saying the Kiwi Farms people can convince people to fuck themselves over, but the people always fuck themselves over. Like that's what happens.
Is he projecting? Like it sounds like he's projecting with the whole like, people fuck themselves over. Like he's kind of describing himself to a T.
Destroy themselves. Kiwi Farms doesn't.
Oh yes, it's all self-inflicted.
Right. That's a credit to Kiwi Farms. That's not a criticism of them. Mm-hmm. Eric Allen says
there's a line, I don't know if I missed it, but he says that the real power of the Kiwi Farms, I think he just said it and I missed it because I was reading chat. But he says the Kiwi Farms, the damage done is always self-inflicted, and he just goes, yeah. And that basically sums it up. I don't know.
Yes.
25 minutes. It's really crazy. He's just angry and he's just venting, and it really feels like he's just venting because Sean's there to listen and provide a shoulder, and I guess
shoulder to
I
cry
mentioned
on.
the shower text, which is now like a colloquialism in my world for a heartfelt conversation is a shower text. Sika Loather for 10 says, it is heartwarming, isn't it? Rekieta wouldn't have cried about you for half an hour in front of a potentially criminal if he wasn't in love with you. All he wanted to do was to stop fighting. He has to stop drinking. I'm not completely... I don't hate Rekieta, but I think that he does have to get sober.
Yes.
And then if he's been sober for a while, then maybe we can start talking again. Because right now it's just like he's truly off the wagon. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Holy Halferman says Nick would always cry about people breaking the rules in his thread, but he would never say who, even though he should report people if they were actually breaking the rules. He's a very blatant liar. I agree. That is my point. I'm glad that you summed it up so succinctly. Clover 2 says, ironically, it is the same issue you and Nick are having that Froggy Fresh and iDubbbz were having. Nick approaches you with an issue. You try to get to the root of the problem about what can be done. And then he says about it. He wants you as a friend to notice he is being distressed and either sympathize or pick up social cues that something is going wrong and try to find a way to mitigate it. He offers no direct solutions or causes to the problem, so you both just walk away feeling frustrated that the other is being uncooperative. I mean, basically, I'm someone who does not answer any problem except head on. I have very little finesse. I have very little subtlety.
Okay, if Noel's just gonna talk about himself, I think we're just gonna end it here. Okay, yeah, yeah, crazy stream. Like the whole Sean stream. That is like some of the angriest I've seen Rekieta get in a while. Like I don't think I've seen him this mad at anyone since like Mad Black Atheist threatened to shoot up him and his entire family. Like he was gonna get the Crips and like come up to like Minnesota, and like do something to him. Right? Remember that? Is it like it's weird how nobody else brings that up. Uh, what brought that on anyway? That's been something I've been wanting to go into is like, well, why was Mad Black so angry about that? I don't know. Maybe Mad Black saw something in Nick that we didn't, that nobody else picked up on because he was such a spurg about it. But yeah, yeah, this is the angriest I've seen Nick in a long time. All right, like he is so upset at Sean for like treating Null like an actual human being and like bringing up like not even bringing up like alluding to like the very real concerns that like Nick's audience have for him, like in regards to the alcoholism, the hedonism, like the way he treats the farms, like the people around him, LawTube, Null, like the list goes on and on. Like, there's so many things to talk about that like you can't even really cover them all. Like this was one video, and I had to go for 56 minutes, like almost an entire hour, covering this one stream, like going over it and just like showing it. Like I feel like again, this is like if it keeps going like this is gonna legit become like a Sons of Kojima thing. Legit, real talk, where like people are just gonna like be doing multiple hour streams every day talking about Rekieta, the things he did, the things he said. Like it's really getting to that point. Like a lot of people are saying Nick Rekieta is like the lolcow of the year, and I don't disagree with that. Like I don't know anybody who has like who's been like lashing out the way he has. Like it's kind of unprecedented in a lot of ways. I DSP like kind of just does the same thing he's always done with like playing games and like asking for money, right? Well, actually, the asking for money thing didn't start until like he started running into financial troubles. But like like it's the same thing after a certain point. Like with Akeda, like we're still in that point where he's still in the downward spiral, right? Like he had the meteoric rise, right? We know that, but now we're seeing like the downfall. And how much longer is this going to last? Like how much longer until Nick Rekieta hits rock bottom? I think we still have quite a ways to go until we get there.